you're welcome to Africross TV on the program Imo Breathes Again. I am Emeka Mabese. Of course, you know Imo Breathes Again is a TV program where Imonites come together to have discussions on a way forward to our state, our great state, Imo State. And with me in the studio are great men and a woman. I think it's best for me to say that you introduce yourself. Am I right? Ladies first, can you introduce yourself?
Thank you. My name is Senator Alfred Jacinta Chinedu, the Senate President in the National Association of Imo State Students Worldwide.
Welcome, my sister.
Thank you.
My name is Comrade Obi Okoroji, Obi Africa, outgoing Director of Socials, Imo State University Student Union Government, and I'm the Director of Social Welfare of the National Association of Nigerian Students Joint Campus Council.
Wow, you're welcome.
Alright, I'm Osuji Justice Uchenna, a student activist.
So, we're starting with you. Let me just ask, what are the major problems of students in higher institutions in Nigeria using Imo State as a case study, please?
Thank you. When we talk of problem, number one, we will first ask where it's coming from. We have a lot of challenges as a student, especially here in Imo State. We'll face, number one, I will start with intimidation. Imo State students face a lot of intimidation. Not just from government officials, but from those that felt that they are very close to government. And it's something that is not necessary because students see themselves as people who stand up to give their voice when things is going wrong or when they need something. More especially, students of Imo State is really lagging behind in terms of them being upright because of fear. Fear, I call it fear because they have put in them this thing they call fear because they never allow them to say their minds. And that is a major problem that I see and we are facing here in Imo State. And again, Imo State students are also lagging behind from reaching the government of the state because I believe that students has this power and they have the power to even bring in and decide who will be their governor or who will be the senate or what have you. But the fear and not allowing them to come close to the government has made them to be as if they don't know what they are doing. And they come to various institutions. You will now realize that institutions like IMSU, for instance, is not having hostels. They are lagging behind. We are lagging behind like light in some of our state universities. And again, let me bring Omuma. That is Polytechnic, Imo State Polytechnic. You know, it's not easy when you push somebody where the person were before and they're taking the person inside bush. And you know, these people are really lagging. And every now and then, as a Senate President of Imo State students, we oftentimes got a call. There is no light. Sometimes they complain about it. They complain about water. They complain about so many things of which government of the day should look into in those aspects because Imo State students for now is really suffering and we really need them to come to our aid. And again, leadership torso in the state. In Imo State students, let me just bring it, power torso among students or divide and rule. Let me use the correct word, divide and rule system in the Imo State students. And this thing is not really caused by the students themselves. It's caused by government officials. Government officials in the sense that they are appointees that are overseeing the affairs of the student and they have derailed from that. And now they are dividing students into pieces. And those people that doesn't understand their ground will now go and fall for all those things. And before you notice it, they will be giving them peanuts like 5,000, 2,000 when they call a meeting. And all these things is the problem that most State students are facing. I really know that if I keep on talking, I'll talk more because my brother here is here to say more. We are really facing a lot of challenges and problems.
Okay, I can see you have things to say with smiles. Okay, let's hear that, please.
Yeah, in addition to what she has said, the problems of students in Imo State cannot be overemphasized. I think our first problem is welfare. Yeah, welfare. Every campus in Imo State cannot boast of good welfare. Like she said, if you come to Imo State University, we have just 2 buildings that are hostels, and it's just for the female girl child. We don't have the boys hostel. Now there are just only just about 3 that were recently built by the Ted Fund. 3 giant buildings in Imo State University. Only. You go to schools like outside the world, then you see buildings, you see structures. Then is the house rent. Student hostels are very expensive. Most students pay higher than what their parents pay at home. Yes, you see hostels not less than 170. That's the least you can get a hostel in Imo State University. Then another issue is security. The government that is supposed to provide security, the police that is supposed to see the affairs of students by way of providing security, has now started extorting the students. They're swinging to hostels, alliances, and just carry a good number of students to the station and ask for bail. Unhealthy government interference in the activities of the students, student union government and the rest of them. Why we are here to complain about the negligence of government in the affairs of students? Political appointees are beginning to build on healthy relationship in students' domain. Take for instance the election of the JCC, where the senators who are the SCG presidents came to cast their vote to who will represent the affairs of the students. And some few government appointees went behind to raise up the hand of someone and say this person is the person we want to work with as the next JCC president. It is not so. It is never done that way. Understand? Secondly is the aspect of SCG elections. Government can only support, not to influence. How can a government appointee want to impose a student, a candidate, to the students to become their SCG president? Understand? This has been the issue in IMSU because for over 4 years now, IMSU is here to have an SUG election. I've been SUG for over 4 years now. I've been representing them as SUG for over 4 years now because they don't want me to hand over. So unhealthy interference. And another thing is still on the unhealthy interference, the limitation of students, how they see students. You don't do empowerment program in campus. You don't do skill acquisition program in campus. You don't give bursary. You don't give funds. What you only do is to send buses to come to campus. To gather students, you pay 1,000 or 500
for your rally.
For your rally, for your campaign, and for political activities. Then lastly is the stipends, the support, and the bursary, students' bursary. I want to narrow it down because bursary, I don't know if bursary is made for every student, but I think students of oil producing areas, where I come from, I'm the National Vice President of Ubuta Students. I was also the Chief of Staff to the National President of Federation of Onhajibu Ubuta and Oruwe Students, the only federal constituency that produces oil, the largest federal constituency that supplies food, the food basket of Imo State. I am a member of that constituency. But if you look at it, we have Isopadec that sees the affairs of oil producing areas in Imo State. They are doing nothing. I'm a student from an oil producing area. I have oil in my village. I have oil at my backyard. I should have right to my bursary. I should have right to my stipends. Students in Delta State get these stipends. Students in Port Harcourt, Akwa Ibom, why is Imo State? Bayelsa. Even in Benin. So why is Benin that does not have oil, they get? So why is Imo State's case different? Because the government does not care. This money might not be coming from the government. It might be coming from the companies that are inside these communities. But the government has decided to siphon all business and not look into it. Up to now, we don't have Isopadec students. The Isopadec use is not even functional. The Isopadec women. So these are the few that we need to look. When I talk about, if I talk of transportation, a student of UNIO can manage 500 for a day in transportation. But you cannot have 1,000. 1,000 is not enough for an average student in Imo State. Just from IMSU front gate to IMSU back gate. The same gate. Front and back gate. Just the same gate inside the school. Less than a minute is 100 naira. From IMSU to Ama JK is 200. So these are the few issues facing students. Thank
You
you.
started with a smile. You no longer smiling. Okay, can I hear you?
All right. To add to what my colleagues have said, Obi has said something about the welfare, and you know that it's paramount that every student's welfare is being taken care of, because it also helps them psychologically and otherwise. You know, when you say students shouldn't get its rights, just like you said, they aspect and to help fund both the living aspects, both education. They need to buy textbooks, and not the 5 fingers are not equal. So all parents aren't equal. So all these funds that we are mentioning should be a source or a backbone to them, because when you see a student coming from, let's use Ohajeboma, and coming every day to school, to IMSU, or let's say to Nekede, but it's very expensive. Whereby the school, IMSU in particular, don't have much hostels, you know, and Nekede also. So you see, all these things contribute to bring down the welfare of the students, and this is why we are here today, to speak on behalf of the students, because they are suffering. Yes, even I went to, that should be either Delta State University or Unilab. Bus carry students from faculty to faculty, free. You don't pay. Through the office of the director of transport, you don't pay. You just come out in front of your faculty. You see them loading. Which faculty are you going to enter? You go, making it easy for them. Even abroad, it's been done that way. No, but here in Moscow precisely, it has turned into a power puzzle state where everybody wants to show himself. If you have not reached the cadre of showing yourself, you don't. And the issue of government having influence in the students, elections and thereabout is very bad. I schooled in Abia State University, and I must tell you that since my 4 years in that school, the government never used influence on the students. Rather, they allow the students to speak for themselves. Vote who you know will present to their own. And you see, these students don't suffer from this innocent suffering. We are here to just let the government know, and the people also know that it is very bad, very bad for the government to interfere or even use their hand to elect who represent the students. It's not a party song. The students are not party people. Students are not even among the party schools or their party. They say they must. The government must see that their people know these are students. Any government that comes suits them, you know, and they don't have the direct access to the government or to the government himself. Rather, they use those representatives they elect. So hereby you elect the person they don't want. So how sure are we that their needs and their burden are being spoken out to the people that should handle it, the governor or the SAs in charge of students' affairs? You see, sorry to Imo State is bleeding all around, because the students are also bleeding. They might not come openly to say it, just like what my senator said here, that the welfare of the student, when it's being tampered on, it leads to provocation. Yeah, you see the students going to school and maybe enters into stealing or otherwise, just to make sure that he or she gets money for the daily bread, but it's not supposed to be so. So I would love to talk to the audience, to the government, to whoever is listening, that it would be good if the government lifts its hand of the student affairs. Thank you very much.
Okay, it would be good if the government lifts the hand of the students affairs. So who is going to be responsible now? Is it okay? Let's look at the governance now. Now, in what ways would you suggest a governor can help the students in Imo State? In what ways?
Okay, let me take this question. Like I said before, I want to correct what you said. Government can interfere in the affairs of the students. For instance, Imo State University is a government institution, it's a state university. But our priority should be healthy government interference. For instance, we have an SA on student affairs. How well does he know the plight of the students? How close is he to the students? Is he making trouble with the students, or is he making peace with the students? Understand? Is he doing well for the students or not? Right? I think everybody is to blame. Everybody. The government and the students themselves. Yes. Because the aluta, the comradeship of my generation and that of yours was not the same thing. Then students have their welfare at heart. Now they have it here. Once a particular student is okay, the parent is okay to buy his or her textbook, it's fine to enter transport, they have the money, they feel relaxed. It is no longer a collective effort, it is now a personal effort. And that is where we've gotten it wrong. You made mention of textbook, to money to buy. And one of the challenges is high cost of textbook. It used to be better in Nekede. Now they have increased textbook to 2,000, 3,000 in Nekede. You come to Imo State University, you don't get any textbook lesser than 4,000. And these are textbooks that are printed. A university to have a printing press. Yes. So everybody is to be blamed. The stakeholders of the state, the stakeholders of the students. NAS is to be blamed. JCC is to be blamed. NAIS is to be everybody, even the government. But the government have the highest blame. And the government, it's not the governor himself, because you might not know what's happening. It's the government appointee. Look at the state as Imo State, that the governor is approaching his 4 years tenure, right? And he has not met with student stakeholders for the first time. We've not seen the governor one-on-one. No SCG president has the phone number of the governor, or would have said he has spoken with the governor. And this is bad. It is not so in other states. If you go to UNM, the governor calls the SCG president, the SCG sees the governor. You go to other states, these are in Unicar, Uniport, everywhere. The SCG president of Uniport has the governor of Wiki, not the phone number of Wiki, they talk. But it's so we don't even have the number of chief of staff does not pick it. I've called him so many times. The chief of staff does not pick your call. If you're not an APC student, and if you're not a student who is registered with APC, he won't pick your call. So these are the problems. But the government have the highest blame, and the biggest share goes to the government appointees, of which the governor should know what students' lives are already. So that is it. Thank you.
Yeah.
In what way would you suggest a governor can help the students in the state?
In many ways. In many ways, when you bring it down from what we have said in our problems, because from our problems you will now draw to what we need the government to do. Number one, the welfare. Government should start looking into the welfare. We are not just saying that they should give us our whole school fees. Like, there is something they call subsidy in bursary. This, when you come to bursary subsidy, in the states that I am schooling in the University of Uyo, and I must give their government the kudos, because if they cannot come up with the whole bursary, they give them subsidy. And this subsidy, they always get to up to 1,000 to 2,000 students that get that subsidy. And in that subsidy, if your school fees is 50,000, you will be getting maybe 20,000, and that will lessen the burden, especially those students that are catering for themselves in school, because it's not all parents that has the money that send their children to school. There are parents that they don't even know that their children are in school. The only thing they know is that once you just wear the khaki, they will say, my child is back, oh, she's not a graduate, or he's not a graduate. And so many of us are facing these challenges here. And when we call on government to listen to us, even you even go to Commissioner for Education, when you go to him and be like, sir, this is our plight, this is what we are going through, and we really need your interference, he will not even give you good answer. What he will tell you is that, don't you see that there is road, don't you see that the government is busy building the roads, and that is, for us, it's not really proper, because if this person is Commissioner for Education, which should be look into the students and know what their plight is. So I will plead with the government and tell them this is what student community wants, as long as students are concerned. We are not begging them to give us all the school fees. We ask them for school fees subsidy, what we call subsidy. Again, to empower students. There are these students that are in school, they are bakers, they are doing tailoring jobs, they are doing all sorts of, even the camera people. they are there, and the government should come up with a program that can easily empower them. And the break maybe from each school. We have about 12 schools in this Imo State. Bring them maybe 10, and empower these people. This will help these people that you empower to even empower other people. Like for instance, I will use myself as a case study. I am catering for myself, and I know a number of students that sometimes call me, Mama, oh, we really need you. I will steal from the small that I have, and I will still give them. All because their welfare, I have their welfare at heart. And again, issue of hostels, a place that students are living. Individuals are building hostels. Yeah. So since they are building this hostel, it's their money, it's their business. You will not force them to do business the way you want it to favor you. This is individual. But if governments come in and build hostels, they will bring it down. Like my school, my last hostel fees that I pay is 12,000 naira, and it still remains 12,000 naira in University of Rio. But when you come to the school here, you will now realize that the hostel is up to more than 20,000, and which is not supposed to be so. All these things, government should look into it and know that this is what the students want. And students also, all these drivers, all these buses, more especially those buses that are registered under students, they should minimize the taxing of all those buses so that they will be able to reduce the cost of the transportation for the students. Because if the government will look into it, you will now realize that where they're supposed to go for 20 naira, they will go for 20 naira. But this time around, because they cannot look into it, where they're supposed to go for 20 naira, the bus drivers will make it 100 naira, and before you say, they will tell you that they are paying for tax and they are buying fuel. All these things is what government should consider in the student community, more especially students that are from Imo State. And not only that, let me remind you that some of our students that are schooling abroad are facing a lot of challenges. We need to bring it so that we bring the remedies. So all these people, some of them get admission, and nobody is there to help them when it's time for them to complete some of their school fees. And some of them will write to the government officials, write to governor himself, write to the government, and yet nothing will be done. And you will see these students be like, am I really from my state? While other people are giving their students some stipends to move and they make sure that they become somebody. And in your own state, you cannot even get it through the leadership of your own of the state association or the NANS. And you will see a student running hekasketa, all because he couldn't meet up whatever admission processes. So we want governments to look into this so that when all this big student body write to them, they will know that this person needs this, and they will call for a meeting and they sort those problems out. And again, insecurity, they should also call our security people. They are our friends. We believe police are our friends, but to an extent they stop being our friends. We must be open and tell what we need, and tell them this is our plight. Police will harass you, and even sometimes you will tell them, the policeman will tell you, come on, go to hell, I don't care about you, I don't care, who are you, this, that. And you now realize this is a student leader that is standing for students, and is telling you, and you are a police officer, you cannot even listen and reason with these people, and you even start slapping them. Let me use the case of the one that happened at IMSU the other time. An IMSU Alliance president was beaten by the police without any reason, and everybody just see it as normal. We'll go for our normal life, even when students rise up and all the youth for the NSAS protest. Yet things are not happening, but we want government to look into all these things because they have the power, they have the strength. And again, we will not want the government, especially government officials, to be interfering in the student community. It's not as if we don't want them. We want them to give us this advice, fatherly advice. When you call your children will listen to you. But if you deviate from what your children is asking from you, they will see you as a wicked person. And that is what students are avoiding. And sometimes they will label you as a rebel, that you are standing up for what is true. But all of them know that this is what these students are demanding. We are not demanding much. In as much as we are Oliver Twist that are oftentimes asked, but we are not demanding much. It's little thing that is very necessary for the students of Imo State that will help them so that when they go out there, they will compete and say, I'm from Imo State, and my government, they are doing well. When other people are shouting their government, they will be able to stand and say, yes, our government is doing well. I think I will leave for now.
Thank you so much. Because we are still asking, in what ways would you suggest a governor can help the students in Imo State?
Wow.
So let me hear you.
That question, I might say, is the problem facing Imo State. You know, Imo State, Imo State don't have a youth program. There's no youth program, both for students and non-academic students. You know, where a student is in 400 level, or 200 level, or 100 level, can still walk. You know, where a mechanic or a taxi driver who has in mind of schooling through the youth program can fetch money to go into school. Here, Imo State has zero youth program, youth policy. And on that thing, you know, this the issue facing Imo State students is like marketing, where you identify problem, you provide possible solutions to the problem. Now, who are the people in need of the solutions? Who are the targeted audience? Look at the students. Now, when these students are being, like my colleague said, where they are being helped in financial aspects, you know, when the student has money on his own to cater for the textbooks, to cater for the transport, you see that things get easier for the person. You know, the person gets focused on the academic timetable, gets focused to lectures. Let me tell you the truth, you cannot read when you're hungry. It is clean. You can't read when you're hungry. So even some schools, I think that should be done, where the afternoons like this, through the SUGs, all the canteens in school sells food free. I'm talking about the 214, 215 slides. You don't, when you go to, once it's afternoon, you just go with your, it's all you call it, a tag that they give to students. You just present your tag and you order for the food and you are being given to it. It is through the SUG president and SUG Wi-Fi director. You know? But these things can't sit in Imo State. Who will pay? This fee is not paid by the SUG president. It's paid from the government through the SA on Student Affairs. So these are the things that the appointees representing the students should be disclosing to the government, things that will help make the students' affairs or the students' community easy for the students to learn, you know, and not making it inconducive for them. Where, that like you said, the students, okay, let me use my school is very big. Now, if I want to go from business administration to, let's say, humanities, distance is far. I will trek. But in the case of IMSU, you have to pay 100 naira. It's not even up to 10 minutes. It's not up to. So you see, these are the things we tell or we plead with the government to look into. Another thing is, you see some buses, they write it Aluta Continua. I ask myself, when I enter a bus and I say Aluta Continua, if the normal fee is 100 naira, I should pay 50 naira as a student. But you say that Aluta Continua collects even more than what you're supposed to. Tell you, after all, am I the government? After all, don't you see what the government is doing to us? So we are pleading to the government. When the government, in her wisdom, provide a youth policy to guide both the academic and non-academic, so you see that things get easy. We'll stop hearing rape, we'll stop hearing this rampant stealing. You know, so all these things leads to the government empowering the youths, empowering the students for the benefit of both the states and the country at large. Thank you.
So, let me chip in something. Another way the government or the governor can help the students is one. For sure, I know that in a state university, there is a name attached to the governor, and it's called the university visitor.
Yeah.
Now let's ask ourselves, have the governor visited Imo State University? How many universities or tertiary institutions in the state have he visited to see for himself what is happening. 2, there's a representative of the governor when it comes to students, and that is the office of the SA Student Affairs. How prepared is that office? How funded is that office? From the look of things, the SA on Student Affairs in Imo State, it's someone that an average student is even better than. So you cannot give what you don't have.
Exactly.
You understand? So that office needs to be equipped. Understand? There should be a student house. The office of the SA student the office is a student house where students can come. Is that office conducive? What working mechanism has that office gotten to attend to the affairs of students? Only its programs, activities of students. You have to bring people that know the students. I want to commend a governor that understands students. One governor that understands the activity of students so much was Rocha Sokorocha. His chief of staff was a student, was a one-time SUG director of transport, and SUG student. His deputy chief of staff was unionist, and so he surrounded himself with people that understand the plight of the students.
My comrade, I'm sorry, I must cut you short on this one, because in as much as you are doing shout out to somebody,
it's not a shout out.
Okay, or you are saying giving some credit, I must still discredit it, because during that regime of our former governor Ole that you are talking of, remember that was where they started divide and rule system in the student community, and we must call a spade, because in his tenure they divide student community, bringing NAIS that has been in existence from 1976 into fraction, all because of what they will gain, and he really followed that without bringing his children together. So for me, I didn't see it as he did well, because he was doing well with people who were still with him, which means that's still fraction that we are trying to avoid. And if student community doesn't come together as one, I don't think all these things that we are saying here they will listen, because and we shouldn't just give them because they didn't do anything. There is no credit to that, and I must take that as an, in fact, if you should enjoy it.
You've given your position, your stand on this, but we're looking at outside personal, outside unionism. We're talking about the general welfare of students.
Yeah,
a student from Delta State that is still in Imo, a student from Lagos that is still in Imo. The general welfare is what I'm talking about, not about the unionism itself or the association. We tried. We then Imo State was students every December we had a carnival.
Yeah, even
students were paid almost 10,000 to 20,000 to 30,000 to perform in the carnival.
But I will still say, even Emeke Hedionha really tried on his own side, because Emeke Hedionha was the one that, in as much as his office was very short, but in terms of students, he really tried. During Emeke Hedionha, in that short period of time that he had, he really helped students. And any student that will say that Emeke Hedionha didn't help is truly a liar, because within that period, he tried for the student community as a whole. Talk of SUG president, talk of NAIS presidents, senators, NANs, he do call them together through Honorable Rex Okoro, and we must really appreciate. If you do good, we appreciate you. If you don't do good, we will tell you you didn't do it.
And his SA on youth affairs as a day was student friendly. Not the one we have now. His SA was student friendly. Yeah, he interacts with students. Does not fight them. He embraced them. He was like a father.
Bring them together in that short period. And that's why we are giving him this kudos. We don't know him. I don't know him. We know him that time as our governor, but I think because he understands the importance.
He was a unionist. He was a unionist.
He was once NAIS secretary.
We've never heard of this government or any of the appointees say they did unionism. We've never said this governor or this appointee was one time this, one time that. That is why they don't understand the plight of the students.
That is true.
You cannot give what you don't have. You can't make a single man the president of Married Men Association. It's not done.
Absolutely.
Okay, please, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed. I've learned a lot from you people. Now, I want to ask. Now, 2023 election is around the corner, and looking at your position, I believe it was a part interaction with people that are about coming to contest or to do this or that. So now, how should the student make effort to see their right governorship candidate is a seat?
Okay. This question is very, very important. It's important to all of us. Students should look out on this, an intelligent man first. If you have an intelligent governor, let me not just call it all these people that overread, but somebody who understands what education is all about, who go to school from nursery school, primary school, secondary, down to university, and serve the country, and understand that these students, they were facing something, or we were facing things like this when we were in school. That person is number one, the person students should look out for. Then secondly, they should know that education is the bedrock of every development. Without education, whatever you are doing it on your own, because education is the foundation of every every human that understand business, economics, just name them. So education should be what we should look out for. Is this person well educated? Would this person be able to carry students along? And again, students should know that this period of election or campaign is not something they will joke with, because of strike. Even state universities goes on strike. Some of all these people that are in power that doesn't go to school don't know what it takes to pay a lecturer who breed senators, who breed presidents, who breed medical doctors, who even breed people that save your life and also help you to even speak for you. And you don't understand that those people, you should take care of them. We should know these people who have the interest of both lecturers and the students at heart first. Then we'll try to understand that this time is not the time we'll collect 1,000, 2,000 naira, because this period is very dicey, and we should understand that if you as a student, you give because of 2,000 or 10,000 naira they will give you, and you went and just sell this thing that is like voter's card, and you sell it out just because you are getting that moment money, bear it in mind that you will suffer. Strike will catch you up. You will not graduate your 4 years course. It will be 6 to 7 years like I am now. I am in my 6, if it's to be, because this is my 4 years course I'm reading is now 6 years plus, going to 7 years by next year. So you now check. Strike will catch you. There will be nothing functioning in the school. Lecturers will shut down everything. They will even collect money that does not even meant for them, because when lecturers are being paid, they will not look at all these small things. Like in my school, when I came to the state, I now realized that they are selling textbooks and all the rest. In my school, you can't sell textbook to any student. It's your own choice to buy textbook, and no lecturer is mandated to say. If you try it, Senate will dismiss you. And but in our state here, those students we are buying textbook of 4,000, 3,000, 5,000, and you now forget that these lecturers really want to eat. If we didn't elect a better person, how do you think that they will cope? It's true, they will not even care, because they know that all these things you try. Because we now in this category, we should bring us and the lecturers. We are now moving in hand in glove, because lecturers also, they are like students. Because a prisoner, what do you call these people that looks after the prisoners? The warders. The warders are prisoners too. Because if we are calling a prisoner, then what? Go now, let me see you. So lecturers are like students. Students are like lecturers. When we are talking, they are in tandem with each other. Because lecturers are the people teaching, and yet they are making mistakes as a returning officers. Then the students are collecting 1,000 and 2,000 naira. Although lecturers collect the high amount of money, while the students collect the lower. And that is the big difference between. But I think we still have people of integrity. I myself, I do tell them, I am a person of integrity, because I know my soul right. So students should stop collecting all this small money that they are collecting. Somebody will just call a student and be like, come, I'll give you 20,000, don't worry, mobilize for me, I'll give you 50,000, and you think it's money when you know you can make that money by yourself. All I am saying, students should look out to people who understand what education is all about, and they also understand the importance of people being a lecturer. Lecturing job should be important thing that we are talking of. And to understand the plight of students, we should engage them, talk one-on-one, so that we'll be able to know, do you have the interest of students at heart? Because they should not forget, sometimes they take students as they are commoners. They should not forget, this time, 40% of the voting population are students. Then, 35.6 are youth, and bear it in mind, in the community of students, there are still youths. Youth take up to 80 to 90% of the population. So when you minus 75.6, how many votes remain? Will those parents be the one that will give you the vote? If you neglect us at your own peril. So this time around, whoever that is contesting for whatever, from the president, from Senate to down to small time now, governorship will start moving in Imo State. And that time, we will call them, tell us, so that when they are saying it, we will write them down what they have to offer. Because in the era, in fact, we are getting to the era where students are really tired of voting some people that didn't even go to secondary school, or just jump out and become whatever you become, and you will not even understand that these students are really suffering. The era has gone. This time is the era that students will look into your eyes and say, you promise us this, you must do it. And the students also should stand up on their feet and call a spade, and do not allow these people to toy with us, because we cannot allow them to toy with us. We are the government, we are the people. We choose you, and you must lead us. You are our servants. Let them try to understand this. It's very, very important to all our government, all people in the government. Once these things start clicking in their head, they will know, yes, it's very, very necessary. And the students should also know that these people, they are the government. Them in the government are our servants. They should listen to us. Students, any country that breeds good students, they have this strength, they have this power. So let us know that our own case can never be different. So it's time you must, students, wake up, hold your PVC. It's very, very important. Hold your PVC, because with your PVC you can do mighty. Don't allow anybody to talk you in and say your PVC, it will not count. It counts. Thanks to the beavers, because this time around students will give their highest voice. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'll listen to you.
Well, what students should look out for this time around is someone that has the interest of the students at heart. She has said almost everything. But what I want to say is we have passed the area of political Yahoo. So students this time around should look beyond the 1,000 naira, the 500 naira, the 2,000 naira they give to them for mobilization just to vote the wrong person.
I'm sorry to cut in. Have you made that time to meet these people that are coming out?
Yes, so my capacity as the Nash JCC Director of Social Welfare, I meet a lot of aspirants and candidates.
And some of them call.
What can you say?
Some of them call.
Yes, maybe not meet them directly, but directly or indirectly, I've met Sam Daddy. Directly or indirectly, I've known Emeka. Directly or indirectly, I've known so many of them. But there's one person I've come in contact with. I don't know, he's a captain. I don't remember his name.
That captain.
Yeah, I think Captain David Zimara from Ikedu. Ochiaya is his title. Yes, I have seen him and I've heard him speak, even on Arise TV and the rest of them. I think his agenda is very plain. And you know, one of the challenging issues of Imo State, the number one issue of Imo State is security. And as an expert in security, I think he can do something. Then, as after security is education and health. As someone that has attained the height of a captain, you must be education. You must be educationally sound to be a captain or to be in the army. The army man is more intelligent than the normal civilian. Their education and ours, they have critical thinking, analytical thinking, and the rest of them, tactical thinking. So I think he has that qualifies him for both health, for both education and security. Then coming to health, before you join, you must be fit. A soldier must be fit. Totally fit before he can be a soldier. So automatically his personality qualifies him for security, health, and education. So for me, I know him. I'm here to hear directly for others. But I've heard him speak, and these things qualifies him.
All right. The election around the corner is one election that we either rule us or make us. Understand? Since the creation of Imo State, we've had we have different type of government from different sectors. We have watched the civil servants governors, and we have seen the business governors. So when we talk about the civil servants, we talk about the likes of Mbakwe and Achukudema. And we'll talk about the business governance, we talk about Hakim, we talk about other people. And now we are still reaping the fruits of what the civil servant did. Some roads in Imo State were built by those civil servants, and we still reap from them. Now, we have tried the both side, and we've seen, we can see for, I think was a we have seen on our own that the people will want. Now, when you're talking about the governors or the aspirants or the efforts students have made to choose their governorship candidate, before we come out and say we are supporting you, one, we should know the level of integrity. Because so many governors, so many aspirants are saying, we will do this, we will do this. Immediately they are sworn in, they just fold those manifestos off. Even you can't even meet them. They now become God that before you see them.
They will sign it for us this time. They must sign for us.
Yes, and I think signing it for us also will make us to have the boldness. See, this time around, when the governor or any candidate that tells us this is what we want or this is what we want to do, and you failed it, with the students in any month, we'll sue you. It's a breach of contract. Because when you tell us you do this for us,
we shut down the government house so that the governor will not.
Yes, you know that we are serious.
Some of us are ready to die for a better
yes,
and better state.
We can't fold our arms and watch the students and watch the youth go in depth of what they don't know about courtesy of bad government. Now, when we talk about the governorship or the governor's candidate, we talk about inclusiveness, someone that can include the students. Now, my sister said the lecturers and the students work hand in glove, which is true. Because when the lecturer is hungry, the next target is the students. Let's be plain here. But when the lecturer is okay, just like the case of Akwa where they don't sell textbooks, it's on you to buy or not. So when the universities in Imo State have their own printing press, they'll print the textbook, so it's left for you as a student to buy. What the lecturer owes you is to come and lecture you and go.
Even material, what they call material. They will give you material, you don't have photocopy.
When we talk about this, we should also look at inclusiveness. Now, when we talk about governance of Kenya, we talk, it's simple, you don't need what you don't have. Obi told us, if I will build bridge, look at how I will do it. So this time around, any governorship candidate that is coming to meet us, you would give us the blueprints of what you're going to do for us.
And what you have done.
Yes, now, when we're talking about the governorship candidates, who are you the last 25 years ago? Obi said it. You don't just come out from nowhere, if you go or whatever means you got money from, and whether your business or otherwise, and you come out to go to the office of the governor when we don't know who were you the last 25 years ago. Can your integrity be tested as at that 25 years ago? So these are the things we look up to, so that to help us pick a credible and someone that will serve us well in Douglas House come 2023. Now the funniest part is the election is around the corner. Come November 11, Imo State election holds. So this is the shortest election I've ever seen. So we need to be very careful. That's why I said this election is either it will make us or without winners.
So have you come in contact with any of them?
Yes.
And what how do you
let me see something. Although some of them will just be like in terms of I really want to meet students. About us that are wise, we understand these people. They are coming. The only thing they will be like, we want to do structure. But when you are structured, bear it in mind that some of us we are in Aluta. You get so that Aluta ship made us to know your next thing. Sometimes people take student for granted. But they don't know that we are smart.
You know the present.
We know the move here. And once you just come and be like, I want to have 50 students, please. We know. We know. We understand. But this time around, it will be as they depend politicians as they switch students.
I like that. Now, so when we're talking about the candidates we have met, we have met with some of them directly or indirectly. The likes of Martin Sabaso, the likes of Major General Ogunlewe, the likes of Mr. Basio, and the likes of Captain David Chukwukambamara. Now, when I met with this man called, first of all, I saw his program on RITV. believe me, before Arise TV invites you for a program, it's a worldwide program. So for Arise TV to honor him and give him the program, and hearing him, he was not just talking, he was crying out to the Imolites, he was crying out to Nigerians that this point in time, when we miss it come February 25th, we've lost it. And I'm telling you, a bottle of Coke is 259. Now, believe me, if we lose it come 23, February 25th, a cup of beans will be 1,000, rice will be 2,000, even Coke might even be up to 1,000 then. Because as at now it's 250, so it's rising every day. It's rising every day. So this man, while listening to him, we were talking about Captain David here, and seeing him one-on-one, listening to him, gives me this sense of responsibility that he has the healing of Imo State, because Imo State is bleeding. Imo State is bleeding, let's be frank. Now, I told myself, for this man to reach the captain level means he's not just brave, he's not just intelligent, but I think he's someone that has inclusiveness. Because as a captain, you had a team. Yes, and that your team listens to you, they take orders from you. So when you do divide and rule system of government in that your team, you will fail. Because it needs collectiveness for you to handle your team. You understand? So when I look at them, I say, okay, this is the kind of person we need. Now we talk about integrity. I'm very realistic. We check it on net. Check who is he less than 20 years ago. And less than 20 years ago, I was telling you, this man was a captain less than 20 years ago. And as at then, he was, from my research, he was from the Department of Military Intelligence. Now, this military intelligence is not just a brand of army that anyone can move into. No, it's been carefully selected. And once you are in the DMI, that is military intelligence, defense military intelligence, you see that, man, your thinking capacity increases because you listen to both armed robbers, you listen to both fraudulers, you listen to different type of human being, depending when the case comes to your table. So it now takes you and your intelligence to sort out the ones that are true and the ones that are false. So with this, the research I made, I think that's the kind of person we need in Imo State. And someone that is brave. We hear killings. I'm so even. I shed tears for my brothers in Oru and Haji because of what they are facing. I cannot be in my own father's land and be running away. It's never done. So as a captain, as a brave as he is, I think he will help with his level of exposure in the Nigerian army and his office occupied in the Nigerian army will bring peace and end the insecurity in Imo State, because that is the fear of the Imolites, insecurity. So many investors run away from Imo State because of the insecurity. And insecurity is one first thing that tackles every investor around the world. Once there is security, the person comes in, because he is rest assured that nothing happens to him or his fellow investors. So, looking at this, I think the captain, David Mbamara, should be the person who is the line, rather, to what we're looking at, to rescue Imo come the Imo State election next year. So, we are also meeting other candidates, listening to them. We're just listening to, I've told you his response, what I found out, and we also do so to other candidates, because this governorship election is very critical for him. I say it's very critical because Imo State students or youth in general are very careful now. This is no longer you say our vote counts now. Yes, it's about we call the electoral agoya. I won't buy our again this time around. Agoya. That means if you vote, your vote must count.
Okay, please, thank you. When you hear students, it looks as if you're just off here without knowing what is going on. I'm surprised you have all this knowledge and are yet calm and following things to normalize. So please, we've come to the end of the program, and I would like each of you, to do a shout out to your friends out
Yeah.
there on the program.
My
Imo Breathes Again.
darling people, my darling Imo students, you people know I love you all. This is Imo Breathe Again. We will breathe again, and we must breathe again. Don't forget, get your PVC as we're gonna breathe together. I love you all.
Thank you so much.
She has stolen the show already. let me greet. Kam kele ụmụakwụkwọ Imo niile. Biko na unu weta m igwe eji atụ election. Ndọrọndọrọ ọchịchị. Let me also give a shout out to all student entertainers, all directors of socials, all students of Imo State University, and all comrades in Imo State. Biko unu join on this program. Imo Breathes Again. Understand? Biko unu kemesi anodalo.
Alright, thank you, my fellow listeners. Thank you, Imo students. Thank you, Imo youths, and all who have listened to us. Imo is not just breathing again. Imo will be rescued this time around.
I beg, follow them. Follow them.
Please,
Twitter.
Please follow us on our page. Follow us as not just following us, share it out.
Yeah.
Share so that people will hear
You will
and
see
listen
me now.
to us.
Share.
So,
Especially this video.
Yes, sir.
this one.
Yes, sir. You will see me. Don't share. Share.
thank you.
Honestly, I'm so excited to anchor this program, and I'm very happy that you honored this invitation. I remain your host, Emeka Wapese. Cheers, please. Bye.
Thanks.